2 hours ago, we talked to Geno Auriemma before we started our show live, and we wanted to talk to him. He signed a contract extension, had some things to say about Caitlin Clark, and then, of course, the Danny Hurley story falls into our lap. So I taped the Geno interview, and this is it in its entirety, has not been edited, and it's just Geno being Geno after signing a 5-year contract extension to stay as the head coach of the UConn women. And I started the interview by asking Geno his reaction to the Danny Hurley to the Lakers.
You know, this is really funny because I happened to be at a thing with him last night, and I have no idea what's going on. You know, I have no idea where this is going and what's happening. But I said, just leaned over and I said, "Hey, I think you can win a lot of championships with the Lakers. You know, more so than a guy who's never coached." And he just looked at me and, you know, nodded, and we had a good laugh. And then this morning I wake up and voila. So I don't know what's going on. And it'd be a bad day for UConn for sure if this happens. And it would be a great day for Dan Hurley, and I'm sure a bittersweet day for Dan Hurley.
Okay. Now, you're being serious that you did bring this up to him last night about the Lakers, John?
Out of nowhere, I just leaned over and I said, you know, I don't know why it came to me. I don't know why, but I said it. And if you ask him, he'll tell you. And I had no idea. And I woke up this morning and somebody sent it to me and I went, you got to be kidding me.
I know that he's talked about not going to another college job, that if he does go down the road when he thinks he's mature enough to coach in the NBA, this happened a lot quicker. But I'm wondering the state of college basketball, certainly men's college basketball, Geno, does that make this decision a little bit more, I guess, palatable or easier when you think about him wanting to go to coach the NBA instead of trying to go for a three-peat?
All those are true. I think the state of college basketball is a mess. If anybody could manage it, though, it would be Danny, because he coaches this program like it's a high school program, like he coached at St. Benedict's. Their player development program is second to none. But I do think that being at UConn and given the state of college basketball and the amount of money now it's going to take to be able to put together a national championship team every single year, I think, and without knowing where it's going, it's a charade. It's this idea of student athlete welfare. Every single thing that comes out of the NCAA's mouth about student athlete welfare, mental, it's bullshit. That has no factor ever anymore. And I never want to hear anybody utter those words associated with college basketball. They're professional athletes, just not called that. So you might as well go coach professional athletes where it's real. Now, if Danny were to leave and somebody said to me, you know, he just took this NBA job, I won't name any particular city, I would say, you know, you're set up for failure. But it's the Lakers. And if I don't know the details of it, but if you're saying, hey, I want a 10-year deal, I want the same deal Brad Stevens got at Boston.
It might be more than that.
Well, then you know what? Hey, Andrea, his wife might not like me, but he's crazy if he doesn't take it.
But that's what surprised me, though, Geno, is he's an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
And he'd have to convince her to go out, you know, to Rodeo Drive.
Yeah. Well, that part she might not, you know, she might not argue with. It may be all the other parts you might have a problem with. But yeah, it's a huge family. It's a huge family decision. No question about it.
How many offers have you had in, let's say, the last 15 years, 10 years?
Well, they all came too late, but, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 total, including, you know, between men's college basketball and NBA stuff.
What was the NBA stuff?
I talked to a couple of people about being an assistant when I thought this game was going where it's going. And I thought, wow, I wish I was younger, because it was at an age where it's like, do I really have it in me to be that and be fair to that for 100 and some games, if you're lucky enough, during the season? And I wouldn't be so pretentious enough to think that I could go from where I am or where I've been coaching women's basketball. And listen, coaching is coaching. I get it. But the distance and the gap, I thought, you know what? If I could be an assistant here for a couple of years, 3-4 years, I think I could do this job. But it just came at the wrong time in my career. But if I come earlier, I would have done it.
Talking to Geno Auriemma, the Hall of Fame head coach with Connecticut, and just signed a 5-year deal. Any talk of retirement when you sat down with the family?
Not yet, no.
So you were signing this extension. There was no, do I want to do it 5 more years?
No, I had already decided that I wanted to. Now, what pisses me off is that if I'd have known that this was happening with Danny, because I think I gave them the old, AARP discount to the university, because I thought they're going to have to pay a lot of money to keep Hurley. Well, if he leaves, I'm going to be pissed, and I'm going to rip up that contract, and I want a new one. And I want some of the money that they were going to give him.
So just call it the Hurley clause. If Hurley leaves, then you want a Hurley clause.
Right. That's right. I'm envisioning the Hurley clause. And this might become, commonplace in college sports.
Now, I don't know if you use it as leverage, but you can always say, hey, I'll just coach the men's team at UConn if you're not going to give me this kind of money.
No, I would never do that. It'd be like moving your shortstop to second base. You'd screw up both programs.
So no talk of retirement. You're going to be, 75 when this is all said and done?
Supposedly, but you know what really motivated me? When Pop signed his new deal.
So but Popovich with Wembanyama, I'm sure he's like, you know what? Let me hang around this guy for a little longer.
Okay, well, I think I got a couple guys in my program that I want to hang around with a couple years longer. And I actually, seriously, I when Pop signed his deal, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my AD and said, I want half of that. He signed for 10 years for $80 million, or 5 years for $80 million. I said, I'll sign 5 years for $20 million. But didn't play out that way, but it did. Actually, it did. It played out exactly that way, actually.
Good. I saw where you said the WNBA, they're targeting Caitlin Clark. What do you mean by how she's being guarded or, enforced?
I think you and I both know the landscape that we live in today, both sports-wise and non-sports-wise, right? We are in a red-blue. And if you're red, you can't agree with blue. And if you're blue, you can't agree with red. Whereas most things are in the middle. If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning. So if you're a WNBA player, and believe me, I've coached the best, and I've pissed them off a lot, and they let me know about it, but they were tremendously disrespected. And none of them were going to say it, but human nature is, okay, this kid's coming into the league, and Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement. Targeted by society, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA. There's a huge target on this kid's back. I thought Cameron Brink said something really smart. She said, no, they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years. But they've been put out to be that because the way social media is today. So what kind of impact is this rookie class having in the WNBA?
How do you think Clark is handling this?
I think she's handling great. I think she talks a lot of and she gets a lot of back. So she deserves everything she gets because she gives it as good as she gets it. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah, and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality. So there's a lot of learning curve, like Diana said. And when she gets it, she has elite skills that are going to really help her.
Yeah,
but she needs to be on a better. She needs to be on a better team, and she needs to be more experienced, and that will come. But for these ridiculous fans who had her slotted as the next Diana, now they're out of their mind. And for these people that are waiting outside the bus for the Chicago Sky team, what the hell is wrong? What do we become, a third world soccer country? That when a soccer player gives up their own goal in the World Cup, you're waiting for him in a bar to shoot him? Like, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah. When Paige Becker said she was coming back, you said what?
I said, I knew that. She's having too good a time here. Her impact here is so great. Her impact nationally is great. And she doesn't want to be known as the greatest player ever to play at UConn without winning a national championship. And I remind her that every day.
Does she have the build to play in the WNBA?
No.
Okay.
But her game is different. Her game is different than Caitlin's in that she's more of just a distributor, get the ball. You know, her game is more like Sue Bird's game. All right. And not that Sue had the physicality to play in that league, but obviously she's the best point guard ever. But I think her game, the subtleties of her game will translate. However, her rookie year, she will get it as bad as Caitlin's getting it right now. Because that's just the world, man. That's just the world. And you got to learn to live with it. But yes, she will have a target on her back as well. I just hope the social media thing doesn't, envelop her like they've done to this kid. This kid doesn't deserve all this.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves all this. And how about this, Dan? You and I have known each other long enough. Have you ever called a player on your show a white?
No.
What gives someone the right to do that?
I think McAfee was...
See, so that's the world.
He was trying to do it as a compliment, I guess. Like he was praising her.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's what he said.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we live in a society where today you can't say that. Well, if you look at society as a whole, there are things that are being said that have never been allowed to be said before. There was years ago when somebody made a comment on TV or radio, they lost their job the next day. Well, we live in a society today where you can say anything, do anything, and nothing, just apologize and everything's okay. Well, right now, sports is a reflection of that.
Keep fighting the good fight. And sorry, Hurley's taken away your headlines here with you coming back.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you something. Do you know something I don't know? Did he take the job?
He's being targeted. Woj said, wait, just walk down the hall and say, hey, Danny, are you taking the Laker job?
My agent is his agent, Brett Just.
Yeah.
And
just call him.
No, I don't. No, I'm not going to do that.
Wait, you just asked me. You just asked me. You can go get the answer here.
I am going to go down the hall as soon as I hang up with you. What the hell's going on here?
All right. Great to talk to you. Hey, congrats on the extension.
Thanks, my man.
It's Geno Auriemma. Unplugged. Straight shooter. Just the fact that he's with Danny Hurley last night at an event and jokes with him about taking the Lakers job and that he could win a couple of championships there. And Danny's got to bite his tongue like, wait, does he know anything? And the fact that you're in the basketball building, just walk down the hallway. Danny, you taking the Laker job? He's asking me what I know. I'm just reporting what Woj is reporting.